Double click.
Yep. Now you've started. So and then go to here, the three dots.
And move.
Click the three dots. And then spotlight for everyone. Bottom there.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Okay, there you
go. Okay. Then metta. Okay.
So you need to go back to Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. And then share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Share screen.
This one?
Yeah. And then choose this one. And then share.
Share.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Let us begin with our metta practice. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down or when awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here. Not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought, let us begin our...
Go up here, and then pause, share.
This one?
No, just the one next to it. Pause. Yeah, that one.
Actually.
Sorry, stop. Just stop share.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. With this metta thought, let us continue our meditation practice. Each time we meditate, this is how we begin. When you practice yourself, I think it is good for you to have shorter practice, few words to practice metta. Just say, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Repeat this several times and then start focusing your mind on the breath and breathe in and out, focusing mind only on the breath without verbalizing or conceptualizing, but just pay attention to the breath. Then you will notice breath rising and falling as you breathe in and out. We may say in and out or rises and falls. Both means the same thing. When we say rise and fall, we notice the rising of our chest area expanding, then expanding our lower abdominal area. These are secondary. primarily we notice just the sensation of breath. Maybe at the beginning, on the rims of your nostrils. And this happens every time you breathe in and out. So you pay attention to that place. But the purpose is to keep the mind in the present moment. Since there is nothing to notice in the present moment as an object of our meditation, we use the feeling of the breath, which is happening right now. And this breath doesn't stay at any particular place, not fixed. It is going in and out, in and out. This feeling happens right now, this very moment, as we are breathing in and out. So, to keep the mind in the present moment, we focus on this movement of breath in and out. As we do this again and again and again, instead of becoming bored and tired, the body and mind and the breath becomes very calm, relaxed and peaceful. When the body, mind and the breath are calm, no greed, clinging, craving can arise. Because when clinging arises, we get excited, agitated. In the peaceful state of mind, that doesn't happen. So we hold greed at bay, and then mind becomes more relaxed and calm and peaceful. Then resentment does not arise, because in the relaxed, peaceful mental state, rigidity, uptightness, anger, hatred and so forth does not arise. And then mind and body, the breath becomes even more calm, more relaxed, more peaceful. That sometimes is good situation for sleepiness and drowsiness to arise. Then we have to arouse our energy factor of enlightenment. We arouse our energy to overcome this sleepiness and drowsiness. At that time we have to think that this is very precious moment that we have been looking forward to. Once we got it, we do not want to lose it. We must use it. Sleepiness is not going to help us to use it. And also, it is not easy to get a moment for us to sit and meditate. And we got it, therefore we should not lose it. When we have this kind of talk to oneself, advice to oneself, then sleepiness, drowsiness fade away. When it fades away, its opposite can sometimes arise. Too much energy, too much excitement, that also is not conducive to our gaining concentration. So we got to let go of restlessness and worry by not thinking of anything of the past or worrying about the future. Thinking that this is very precious moment, we have to keep the mind on this precious moment in the present, and therefore restlessness and worry can take away our focus, our attention, our concentration. Therefore we let go of our restlessness and worry. What remains is sometimes is our doubt about our own achievement. Question mark whether or not I can achieve it. I can reach the goal. I can achieve the purposes of cleaning the mind, overcoming sorrow and lamentation, overcoming grief and pain, suffering, treading the path, noble path, and liberating ourselves from suffering. These are our manifold goals. So we want to achieve this goal. With doubt, we cannot achieve them. Now we have seen 4 of our hindrances are overcome. Greed, resentment, sleepiness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry. We have built up our confidence by overcoming these 4 hindrances. The last hindrance is doubt, that also can overcome seeing what we have gained so far, and also having confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Sangha is the community of monastic individuals, monks and nuns, loosely speaking, everybody. So we must have full confidence in them. The Buddha's noble disciples have followed this path and attained their goal. Therefore, I too or we too can attain it. This is not only available to the Buddhas and great Arahants in the past, it is available even to us. And therefore, we arouse our confidence and overcome our doubt. Once all these, what we call hindrances, are overcome, then the mind becomes very free, very relaxed and peaceful. With that state we continue practicing, and then we manage to attain certain degree of concentration. Concentration is becoming fully aware of the subtlest changes that take place in us, and mindfulness going along with that. When these 3 segments flow together, the breath, mindfulness, and rising and falling, When we pay attention to them, we gain concentration. What do we do with that concentration? Originally we use concentration to develop deeper insight, and with this insight we can see even more subtle, deepest level of changes taking place all the time, whether we are aware of not. The changes are taking place in us all the time. The moment we pay attention, can we notice them? Other times they go on by themselves on their own. So when we gain that kind of deep awareness, greed, hatred, delusion, all other host of defilements will slowly disappear from our mind. Once we see this happen in this way, the joy, peace and happiness we gain is immeasurable, indescribable. Therefore, friends, let us spend the rest of our morning time on practicing what I mentioned already. When time is up, I ring the bell and then I start the talk. by means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dear friends, I want to continue our
Stop sharing.
I want to continue our Dhamma talk. We start with last week we spoke on the ending of suffering by ending our greed. In the dependent origination, we begin with ignorance as the sort of apparent beginning. In order to get rid of ignorance, we have to have understanding. So the path leading to the end of suffering, therefore, started with understanding. Friends, understanding is absolutely necessary, not only for liberating from samsara, but liberating ourselves from quarrels, gaining peace, and living in harmony, and make life reasonably comfortable, even though we do not immediately attain full enlightenment. The understanding is number one. In the Buddha gave us a wonderful way, and according to his teaching, the approach to liberating from suffering begins with understanding. If there is no understanding between people, husbands and wives, parents and children, teachers and students, neighbors and neighbors, village and village, countries and countries, there always is friction, quarrels, troubles. Our peace shattered into pieces. No peace, no happiness, no harmony. In the Buddha's teaching, therefore, he taught us not to start with belief, but to start with understanding. Understanding all these situations in between two people or many people, organizations and so on, understanding is absolutely necessary. Look at this COVID-19 that brought so much suffering and death, sorrow, lamentation and so forth, went on devastating our lives because of not understanding. Wherever understanding was, wherever understanding is, peace is there, happiness is there. It is whether it is a small community or large one, macrocosmic or microcosmic, and the past, present, future. Always, wherever we have problems, the root of that problem is not understanding. And therefore, our goal is such a lofty, marvelous goal that is not limited to a day or two, but it is all-pervasive goal. Life after life, we have to develop our understanding. If we do understand correctly, properly, this very moment, we are on the way to attaining liberation, attaining peace and happiness. You come to meditate, for instance. You meditate. Very good thing. If you do not understanding your meditation, what you do in meditation, you can increase your suffering, your pain, instead of gaining peace and happiness. Everything, you're eating, drinking, sleeping, wearing clothes, taking medicine, all this based on understanding in order to gain expected results. Even if when you are sick, when a physician prescribed certain medicine, if you don't follow the instructions and take it upon yourself and make the dosage more or less here and there, in various things you change, you will not get cured because you do not understand the prescription, instructions. Everything, if you eat to maintain your body. But that food, if you eat without understanding, you can cause lot of problems. And therefore, in short, friends, understanding is number one. So the path to liberate ourselves is called Noble Eightfold Path. Very famous. This path is called Middle Path. Middle path does not mean little bit of evil, little bit of good, and mix together and make middle path. It is not going to be middle path. Middle path is the path avoiding extremes of self-mortification or self-indulgence, not mixing these two together. When we avoid both extremes, then we have to follow steps with understanding as number one. In this middle path, Buddha said there are three very important factors. In these three important factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, also understanding is number one. Number two is mindfulness. Number three is effort. In the Noble Eightfold Path, if you put Noble Eightfold Path like a tripod, in the tripod, the three are equally important. Three legs are equally important. Leg number one, understanding. Leg number two is mindfulness. Leg number three is effort. These three are extremely important. So, there are many discourses that Buddha has delivered for us to understand. Explaining what understanding is. Telling we have to have understanding itself is not enough. We ask teachers, ask students, do you understand? So what does Buddha mean when he said understanding? He was so precise, he explained even what understanding is. Understanding also has two aspects: right understanding and wrong understanding, correct understanding and misunderstanding. And there is a very important discourse delivered by Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Sariputta is second only to the Buddha. For instance, when the Buddha delivered the sermon in his latter part of his life, if he were tired after beginning the sermon, few minutes later, he would feel tired, had backache or headache. Then he would call Sariputta, could you continue the sermon? Who can do that? I start giving a talk, halfway I ask you, could you continue it? You cannot do that because you are not prepared. You don't know what I was going to say. But Venerable Sariputta accepted this Buddha's request, invitation, and continued the sermon exactly as the Buddha would deliver it. At the end, while Venerable Sariputta was delivering the sermon or continuing the Buddha's sermon, Buddha was listening. Buddha was so humble. Venerable Sariputta never felt intimidated to give a sermon in front of the Buddha. Buddha never felt very proud to listen to the sermon Venerable Sariputta delivered. At the end, Buddha would say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. People in the audience would be shocked. Therefore, Buddha said, Sariputta, you delivered the sermon exactly as I would have delivered it. That is the kind of person Venerable Sariputta is. So then one day a group of monks came to see the Buddha, came to see Venerable Sariputta. Everybody coming to see the Buddha also wanted to see Venerable Sariputta. So these monks came to Venerable Sariputta and saw the Buddha, and then Sariputta said, do you understand what we all talk about? Right understanding, right understanding, right understanding, Sammaditi, Sammaditi, Samma. Do you understand what Sammaditi is? This monk said, Venerable Sir, we came all the way from long distance to listen to you. Please, you explain it to us. You see, then Venerable Sariputta, without any hesitation, without any reluctance, he said, Venerable monks, if somebody understand any disciple of the noble disciple, noble disciple is the disciple who is going to be noble, not just disciple for the sake of being disciple, but he is going to be a noble disciple. Arya Savaka. Arya Savaka is noble disciple. Noble disciple is one starting from the stream entry. All the disciples from that state is called noble disciples. We are disciples but may not be noble as yet. We want to be noble disciples. Venerable Sariputta said, friends, and when a noble disciple understands the wholesome and the root of unwholesome as the root of unwholesome, the wholesome and the root of the wholesome. In that way, he is one of right view, whose view is straight, who has unshakable confidence in the Dhamma and has arrived at this true Dhamma. Now, here are a few words. We go slow. We don't have to rush because this is very, very important, most important of all the Dhamma, the teaching, that is understanding. The word used here is view, right view. It is the direct translation of ditti. Ditti. If the word ditti is used without any qualification, without any qualifying word, that means wrong view. Wrong is implied whenever we use the word ditti. Dittigata. In order to make it right or correct, we have to say sammaditi. Otherwise it becomes micchaditti, wrong view. Now, we have to develop not ditti, we have to develop understanding. Understanding, when understanding is clear, then confidence arises in us. That is called avecca pasada in Pali. Avecca pasada. Avijja means, pasada means faith endowed with understanding. Faith endowed with understanding. So the faith arises from understanding, not other way around. And therefore the Buddha asks us to have this approach. First have understanding, then faith increases. From your own understanding, when you understand, you experience something. When you experience it, then faith rises. So first understanding, then faith. Not faith first and then understanding. And therefore the Buddha always emphasized understanding, understanding, understanding. So Venerable Sariputta said, if somebody understands, disciples understands, not views. Even in that discourse he said, noble disciples understands the unwholesome and the root of unwholesome. Why something is called unwholesome? Something is called unwholesome because it produces pain, sorrow, lamentation, grief and despair. The results or consequence of the unwholesome always is adhinava. Adhinava means danger. Anything unwholesome has adhinava, danger. The wholesome has anisamsa, benefit. So when something is unwholesome, it has adhinava, danger. What is the danger? Danger is that it is impermanent. Danger is impermanent. No matter how pleasant, beautiful, acceptable, agreeable, delightful, if it is unwholesome, we must expect unwholesome results. That is the danger. That danger is impermanent. That is impermanence. If something wholesome, it doesn't have any danger. It has anisamsa. Anisamsa means benefit. What is the benefit? Peace, happiness, solace, comfort. These are the benefit of wholesome, of the wholesome. And therefore, Venerable Sariputta asked this, told these monks, friends, if somebody understands the unwholesome as unwholesome, the root of unwholesome as unwholesome, every unwholesome thing has its root. Unwholesome doesn't appear from by itself without any cause, any root. Unwholesome also has roots. That is why they become unwholesome. From the roots are because roots are unwholesome. And then understand the wholesome, which has benefit, producing peace, happiness and comfort, and even liberation from samsara, also does not appear from nowhere, fortuitously. The wholesome arises also from wholesome roots. It is very much like when you plant bitter gourd seed, you expect bitter gourd results. Results is bitter. If you planted sweet seed, like apple, sweet apple, or sweet mango, something sweet, the result of fruit is sweet. So if you have unwholesome root, results is dangerous and painful. If you have wholesome roots, results are beneficial, producing peace. And that is why the Buddha's teaching, entire teaching, has only one taste of peace. Taste of peace. Why? He always asks us to plant wholesome seeds to get wholesome results, which is peace. So, the Venerable Sariputta said, if one has only these four things, what are the four things? The unwholesome is one, root understanding the unwholesome is one, understanding the root of unwholesome, two. Then understanding the wholesome and the root of wholesome. Understanding the root of wholesome. These are the four. In that way, he is one of right view. So you have understanding first, then you have a vision, right vision. View is vision. And then that person's view is called straight view. Straight view. In one place Buddha said, Ujumagammi akkato gacchatamani vatasa. I have taught you straight path. Follow it. Don't stop. When we talk about the quality of the Sangha, noble Sangha, they say Ujupatipanna. Ujupatipanna. Go straight. Go straight means follow this straight path with right understanding of the wholesome, unwholesome, right understanding of unwholesome and wholesome, the root of unwholesome, the root of wholesome, and then you are on the direct path, Ujupatipanna, who has unshakable or faith, which is unshakable. Why? Because it is endowed with understanding. The faith is endowed with understanding. And then understanding what? Understanding the Dhamma, understanding the Buddha, understanding the method that he follows, and arrived at this true Dhamma. Okay, now then Venerable Sariputta went to elaborate his statement. He asked, friends, what friends is the wholesome? What friends is the unwholesome? What is the root of the unwholesome? Friends, unfortunately, for this introduction, this is introduction. I will continue these talks for the next, I don't know how many times, how many weeks. I remember I taught this subject 3 years, 4 years ago, and I took more than 2 years to finish it. Not teaching every day, but 1 day a week I taught it. because it is such an important sort of the beginning of the heart of Buddha's teaching. And therefore, friends, take it easy. Don't ask me to rush, and you don't rush. Digest what I said now and prepare for your question for tomorrow. Okay, with this I want to end this talk and we continue our.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right. Sadhu, 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 Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Now again, now you can hear me? Okay, good. This is our very earnest wish that all those who are suffering in hospitals, taken care of by very compassionate doctors and nurses and hospital staffs, recover very soon and return to normal health, continue the practice of Dhamma and understanding Dhamma and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. And their relatives, the relatives of those who have passed away, may they also be relieved from their suffering, sorrow, lamentation, and return to their very normal life. Continued practicing meditation and Dhamma, understanding Dhamma to liberate themselves from suffering. And those doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs who have been taking care of these patients with compassion and dedication, risking their own lives, their own health, may they continue their wonderful, marvelous service to help these people and live long in very good health, understand Dhamma, liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all the leaders who have taken very far-sighted, wise leadership to help people, encouraging them to get vaccinations, and many of them are vaccinated, many recovered, and there are some still on the way to recovery, on the way to get their vaccinations. May they all be successful and liberate themselves from this suffering. Those generous people who have very kindly donated various things to various organizations and individuals, took care of them in their own homes and so forth, may they continue their wonderful service, live long in very good health. Overall, friends, you all have participating in this practice for most of you from the very beginning last year with very wonderful intention for your own benefit and for the benefit of your friends and relatives, even unknown persons. May you all be well, happy and peaceful, live long in very good health to practice Dhamma, understanding Dhamma, and liberate yourself from samsaric suffering. Thank you.